Anyway, welcome everyone. So let's begin. I'll say this one more time. I'm going to spend about 20 minutes on a lecture, and then I want to deal with your own specific fears around job search. In other words, I am very excited about using the right brain to erase your fear. It seems to happen instantly, well, within 90 seconds. It does take 90 seconds if it's a great big fear. But to me, this is an amazing breakthrough of information. Did you know that, Chandra?
No.
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 Not many people know that. Steve, can you come and move the camera so we can introduce Chandra to the audience? That would be good. We'll just turn it for a moment, and then we can't get all three people. This is Chandra. She's an attorney from
The Netherlands.
And she's here working with a nonprofit, and we thought it'd be fun to get her viewpoint about fears, because she will need to find a job in a year, right?
Yeah.
You don't need a job now.
Yeah,
you have a
yeah,
job
I
with the
have a job.
nonprofit. Okay, good. Okay, well, we're glad you're here. And you can speak up. Even if you're not on camera, they can
All right,
hear you, because
great.
the mic's right here.
All right.
And now we're going to go into 5 different ways to erase your fear. If you have some fear that comes up during the interview, these are certain things that you can do immediately. And the main one is to remember that all you have to do is go into the now, into the present moment, and that activates your right brain. And as soon as you're in your right brain, fear disappears. This is the biggest breakthrough psychologically, I think, this year, and maybe this century, because fear is at the bottom of a lot of the problems that human beings have with each other and dealing with each other.
So, Jeannie, can you maybe kind of like coach these guys on how they can go into the now? I know we've done exercises before.
Well, that's what I'm about to do.
Okay, sorry.
So we're gonna, yeah, just at this moment, look around the room, notice what you see. Use your eyes. In other words, I see a glass cup, I see a bottle of water, I see a pair of scissors, I see some colored pens. I'm already in the now. Now, if you are indulging yourself in a really big fear, it may take 90 seconds of being in the now for the fear to disappear. But in most cases, I find I'm in the now immediately. And as soon as you're in the present moment, there is no fear. It goes away. Changes your life using this. I want all of you to practice this. I've asked you to do this the last couple of weeks. As soon as you get out of this broadcast, go practice this. Just see if it works for you. I mean, at first I couldn't believe it's that simple, but it really is that simple.
Well, you know, Jeannie, it's kind of funny you say that, because I used to speak a lot in front of people, and that's I just couldn't sleep the night before. So I guess what you're saying is basically maybe before the interview, take like 90 seconds and go through some exercise before you get into the room.
You don't need to exercise. All you need to do is use your eyes.
All right. Just
and you can
observe.
Even, if you don't want to use your eyes and look at what's around you, then go into your body. Because just check out your big toe, check out your knees, check out your heart, check out your neck, check out your ears, your elbows.
So just become
aware of something. As long as you're checking out body parts, you're in the now. And as long as you're in the now, you're in the right brain. And as long as you're in the right brain, there's no fear. So it's that simple.
Makes fear go away. Okay, great.
Okay, and now here's another one that, for some people, need this extra one. This is the next slide. So let's look at this one. In other words, if you've got an internal tape going on in your head, which a lot of people do, and the tape is mostly telling them, you're going to fail at this, you're no good at this, you're never going to be successful, you're not clever, you're not smart, you're not whatever. We all have those tapes. And so what I want you to do is reach out in front of you and turn that tape up so you can hear the words. And as soon as you increase the volume, turn it down to where you can't hear the words distinctly. That the tape is still there, but it sounds like an ocean murmur. You cannot hear the words. You don't need those negative internal tapes. Get rid of those tapes. Drown them in the ocean. That's the idea. Is put them in with the fishes, so you don't have those tapes running in your head. And then the next one is to remind you, I've already told you this, but remind you, the next slide, to stay in the now as long as it takes. If you go back into fear, you just didn't stay in the now long enough. So look around you, use your eyes, notice what's around you, check out your body parts, and go into the now. And I just had an email from one of my trainers who wants to know how to teach someone to have positive energy for a job interview. Positive energy is right brain energy. So all you have to do is go into the right brain and you sparkle. You're charismatic. It's amazing the energy that you will display if you're using the computation of your right brain. So I encourage you, if you're going in for an interview, get that positive energy by going into the right brain. Okay, and here's another strategy. Not only can you look around you at objects, but you also can check out your body parts. Check your stomach. Check your neck. Check your ears. Check all those different body parts. What's going on in your body? Okay, and this is one other way of getting your right brain activated. This is a coloring book, which I designed for people who want to practice being in their right brain. Because if you're coloring, selecting colors and coloring, that keeps you in the present moment. It keeps you focused. And actually, this coloring book has relationship tips in it, how to handle conflicts in relationships and all that. It's on our website if you want to practice staying what it feels like to stay in the right brain for a few moments. As long as you're coloring, you're in your right brain. If you go into the past, you go into the future, you're out of your right brain. You've gone into your...
So it's kind of like taking yourself out of anticipation and kind of like just
in the
being here.
In the moment.
Right, okay.
Okay. And then we have 2 more slides, and then I'm going to be asking for your own fears. And I'm going to start with Chandra. I'm sure Chandra has a fear. Being an attorney is enough.
You're a client.
Okay. Repeat the erasing fear with the right brain so it becomes a habit. So you do it all the time. So you can get that sparkly charisma that accompanies right brain computation. So Chandra, do you have a fear? Come turn the camera.
Chandra, you better get a fear.
Find a fear, Chandra.
You don't have one, you've got one now. Fear of being on video camera on Jeannie's show.
With nothing to say.
I think my biggest fear is that as an attorney, you're supposed to know everything. You know, I think your client is paying you a couple $100 an hour.
Right.
And if you're chewing up too much of their time, or you come across as somebody who doesn't know what they need to know, it can be very intimidating. So I'm always scared that, you know, my client thinks, God, this attorney knows nothing, you know? And it's basically, I think, almost similar with a job interview, because you try to persuade your future client to take you on.
Right.
So every single time you try and find a client, it's basically another job interview. So I have that fear, but sometimes I just overcome that by being honest, saying like, okay, I don't know this, I will have to look this up, but I have the confidence that I can do this for you.
Okay, that sounds like a good answer. Good, thank you. Okay, so now, how about some of the audience? Tell us what your fears are so we can come up with maybe some new ideas for you. Well, we already dealt with being a perfectionist.
Well, I can talk about one of my fears that, you know, we'd like to fool the audience to find out what kind of fears you folks have about job search. I was talking to Jeannie the other day, and actually I've sort of like started procrastinating, and that's just fear of rejection. That's why I've done it. It's like, how many more times can I say no or get no response from anybody? It's kind of like you're beating a dead fish.
And so now you're avoiding.
Well, I kind of am avoiding, but again, I'm trying my networking strategy. I'm trying to call people on the phone. So I'm kind of breaking that pattern by calling 100 people per week, 20 per day on the phone. So, you know, procrastination is something that's come over me because of the...
Oh, Melina, that's a good one. She
What's
fears
that?
going to networking groups and events. Tell
Well,
me about your... Because you used to have
Milana,
that.
yeah,
You
I used to be
have
very shy, and I was hard for me to go up to people. I would just stand around the background, but I've actually practiced some tips from Jeannie on how to manage my fear. And if you go to enough of them, you just start learning from seeing people do stuff. You know how little kids watch adults and they learn? Actually, it's sort of the same thing. I just used to watch my friends. They would go up to strangers and go, hi, you know, my name is so-and-so, and, you know, what's going on with you? I mean, and I did that last week. I was surprised. I told Jeannie, I went up to a bunch of folks that were standing by themselves. They're the easiest targets. And I just said, hi, my name is Sheila. What type of work are you looking for? Because we were all looking for work. So basically, Milana, I would say go to these events. I know it's not awkward, but you are taking that risk. And every time you take a risk, you micro-incrementally improve that skill. Right, Jeannie?
That's right.
Every time you take a risk.
And also, every time you face the fear, it shrinks.
Right.
In other words, if you could even imagine your fear of being rejected by a stranger, and you can look at it. You just take it up, make a picture of it, of the rejection, and look at it very carefully. You'll find it just shrinks. The more you face your fears, the smaller they get. It's that we repress them and don't deal with them that makes them grow. The more you bury them, the bigger they get, and the more you bring them out and look at them, the less impact they have.
The question
on
I
your
wanted
life.
to ask you, Jeannie, is, you know, I get telephone interviews, and there are like 5 people on the other side.
Right.
Not one.
Right.
So
Yes,
I'm trying to figure out the dynamic here, and it's like, oh my God, these people are firing off questions, and I just feel like hanging up the phone.
No, don't do that, Sheila. That's never
I
going
don't,
to
but I
get the
feel
job.
like
If you hang up the phone, that is not a good strategy,
I mean,
Sheila.
I don't know.
What you really need to do is listen to the voice of each one. Voices tell you so much about the person.
Okay.
And, I mean, don't get so caught in the meaning, the words. The words are actually less important than what the tone, tempo, volume, and timbre are telling you about this person.
Okay.
And what you really want to do is be respectful and ask them questions. You know, don't just let them ask you questions.
Okay.
You ask them. Like if I were the exact perfect person,
Right.
and in your opinion, for this job, tell me what that person would be like. I want to see if I fit. And in other words, what you need is information from them, because human beings are also different. And what we're looking for to fill an empty job spot. If you're talking to 5 people, there are going to be 5 different. Marilyn has a question first.
Oh, I didn't see that.
She wants to know why tapping into the right brain erases fear. The left brain is designed to keep you safe, so it's constantly looking for danger. That's just the way it works. The right brain isn't concerned with keeping you safe. It's concerned with creativity, joy, bliss, love, peace, the present moment. It has no desire to keep you safe. So what you really need is a balance, folks. You need the left brain to keep you safe, but you also need the right brain to keep you happy. So this is because our culture is so left-brained, most of us are tipped toward the left brain. And I'm trying to balance you out so that you can be happy and blissful and joyful and peaceful and creative and enjoy your day as well as be safe. In other words, you can almost trust your left brain is going to still operate even if you keep tapping your right brain. Do you have any others? Do you have any more fears, Sean?
When I became an attorney, I learned to just let go of most of the fears. Yeah.
Well, you have the credential, so that's some sort of, credibility for you once you have a credential.
I think everybody is afraid of doing these things, and if you just realize that everybody is afraid and nobody is super knowledgeable, then you just put things a little bit more into perspective, and then
Yeah, possibly the interviewer and the other folks are just as afraid,
Yeah.
as you are. Like, yeah, if you
I
can see
also-
that.
I also always think, so what if this doesn't work out?
Yeah,
If you,
you're gonna survive.
Yeah.
5 years from now, you won't even remember.
yeah,
it.
is your life going
Anyway.
to go and crash and burn? Probably not.
I see it's right on the button of 12 o'clock.
Oh,
Of
you
New
are
York Video in
sorry.
Town. Well, sorry about that, but we have to go anyway. So, hope you can come next week. We'll let you know what the topic is. Thanks for being here.